Hey, Thirstaholics. Sorry, a little bit of a delay today. Technical issues. Oh, don't we love them? Welcome to the Thirsty Professional. Today we're welcoming Brigitte Bojkowszky. She is a brand identity strategist and business educator. Amazing woman who believes that branding starts with mindset. Cannot wait to dive into this. You know I love mindset. All right, we're going to be starting shortly, so go grab your cuppa. We'll be back in a New York minute.
Welcome to the space where truth is poured. No corporate scripts, just tales explored. From passion quest to purpose found, the thirsty professional breaks new ground. So fill your cup, let's have a chat about careers, life, and all of that.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Thirsty Professional. This is a place where we grab a bevy, got my bevy right here. We ditch the BS and we get real about careers, purpose, and passion. I'm your host, Beth Ann Campbell, former corporate queen, now author. I am author of the, I always have to show my award-winning Where the Hell is My Bacon book for you corporate individuals out there who are struggling. So many of you are. If you are watching live, let us know you're here in the comments, where you're from, and most importantly, what are you drinking today? If you're watching the replay, please give us a hashtag replay. And of course, let us know if you have any questions or feedback so we can address it during the live stream. Today, my very, very special guest on the Thirsty Professional is Brigitte Bojkowszky. Brigitte is a brand identity strategist and business educator, and if I may say, a wonderful bundle of positive energy. I just love her. Brigitte has gone from flight attendant to the corporate world to academia and is now being her own badass boss in the world of branding entrepreneurship. Ooh, yes. She believes that branding starts with mindset, and I could not agree more, and I cannot wait to dive into that. Mindset has been so key in my journey for the past few years. She's also featured in the anthology Daring Metamorphosis, Inspiring Stories of Growth and Synchronicity. Please welcome Brigitte Bojkowszky. And Brigitte, let me make sure that you are unmuted here. There we go. Welcome to the Thirsty Professional.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here, and thanks for this beautiful introduction.
And thank you so much for your patience. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties. I don't know. I think Restream was puking because I had to reboot, and then I went on my phone and it didn't work on my phone. So I think Restream was having some issues, but I appreciate your patience working through this and giving me the tips that I couldn't respond to. But I was like, okay, yes, I'll try that. So
We are a
my
team.
God.
We are a team. We are a
I
team.
know,
So that
right?
happens,
Oh, gosh,
and working with technology. It's just what happens, and we
yeah,
have to be calm. We're gonna fix this. We fixed it. It's
yep.
like a 2 minute delay. So
Yeah,
yeah, here we
not
go.
no bad, no bad. So you probably do a lot of you've done some podcasts yourself or guest appearances. Have you experienced technical difficulties?
Oh yes, I did. From outages to Restream not working or whatever connection of the
Yeah,
different layers in this whole. It's not only Restream. There's another
yeah,
device.
there's a lot of them. Yeah,
So it's just, yeah, you just need to be calm, and you're gonna figure
so
it out.
true.
So everything is figure outable, right?
Don't you feel like the older that you get, like I think if this had happened, 20 years ago, I would probably be in a mild panic right now, but or then, when I wasn't able to figure out what it was, but now when you get into your glory years, your middle years, and you just don't give a fuck anymore, and you just, what, go with the flow. It's not the end of the world. So, I mean, I got my dog barking at the FedEx truck right now. So this is just the world we live in right now. Bridget,
These
what are
are
you
the
drinking
little
today?
things.
What are you
What is
drinking?
it?
Do you have a bevy today?
Just some water, because I think I had 4 cups of coffee, because it's late afternoon here in Austria. And if I drink one more cup of coffee, it's going to be too much at the end of the
I
day.
know. I
So
know
I
what
still
you.
have water. It's
I
really
know.
hot here, so I need
Is it?
something that just cools me. yeah, and get the fluids going.
Is it uncharacteristically hot, or is it this is normal hot for Austria?
I mean, this is really hot for June, but we're hitting July, so it's okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
it can
how it's
happen.
supposed to be. We are not close to the ocean, so there is also not the breeze that makes it a little bit, more bearable. But that's how it is. So yeah,
Yeah,
we roll with that, right? You
I
get
love
used
it.
to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also with all this, you mentioned the technicals, and you asked me the older you get. Yes, the older we get, the calmer we get, and the more
Mhm.
experience we have. And I'm coming from a high risk, environment or industry where your life is at risk when things
Yeah,
happen, when there are irregularities. So when your dog barks and you're doing a recording, it's your life is not at risk. So
right,
we really need to bring it into relation of what's really going on. So
right.
yeah,
I love
that
that.
happens.
Yeah, I
And
love it too. I
yeah,
think
so
that I think the older we get, though, we also we just don't worry so much. Maybe because we've been through so much. You know, they say there's a guy who has a great phrase. He says, "Discomfort is the herald of opportunity," and it's about
exactly.
yeah,
Yes, exactly. And it's getting us out of our comfort zone. And it's also, I'm coming back here, what you mentioned before, it's about mindset. You can see it as like, oh my God, you can create an elephant out of nothing, and be here is hysterical. But you also can say, okay, so let's sit back and relax. And yeah, what's actually going on here?
right.
Am I a scandal? I mean, you will be learning out of that. And as you say, and the worst thing is that it's an opportunity to learn, and everything is an
Yes.
opportunity. Everything is growing, and the harder it gets, the more you grow. If you see it as an opportunity,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. I love that. So
yeah, that's my
I love your mindset in branding. So let's start off before we dive into how you got here and some of the fun stuff. Let's tell everybody what you do and what are you passionate about in what you do right now?
okay. So I'm a brand identity strategist. So it's all about creating identities, creating brands, getting eliciting and helping my clients, whether it's corporations or it's individual, getting the greatness out of them and have it radiate. And then a lot of companies are and people, individuals, are starting with the end in mind. It's all about the outer experience that people have.
Yeah.
And for company, it's all about, yeah, the logo and the color and the tagline. But what does it really mean? So you need to infuse meaning into that first before you're putting everything out, because that can backfire. If you're not doing the pre-work, then you start with the end in mind, and you might not like it, how your clients, your customers are actually perceiving it and feeling about it. So branding always starts from within. It starts with mindset. It's not just about logos and colors. It's about introspection, seeing yourself first. So it's taking an inside view first. So that's what I'm helping my clients to understand, that to see yourself first as a company, as a product, as an experience, as a service, as a leader, and just as a person, as the individual. And I'm coming from the world of brands and global branding, and I was teaching that for the last 2 decades at universities around the world. And at the end of the day, I figured it all starts with the individual, because we individuals, we build these companies. It starts
Yeah.
from within. It
So true.
starts with creative culture. So that's where my starting point is. And that's where the phrase branding starts with mindset comes
Yeah.
from. It's all about our thoughts, our mindset, our vision that we have.
Yeah. Do you think that that's in your experience with the clients that you've worked for, individuals or companies? Do you think that's the biggest thing that they get wrong about their own branding is they're starting from, well, I want to see what the logo looks like in the graphic, and what's this color? Because I know for me, Bridget, this is 100%. I am that person because I will spend weeks on colors and logos and, and then, but you're making me think now that,
Yeah. I mean, you're spending weeks in something that you can get much faster.
yeah,
By first taking a look inside your inner narrative, that's what you're thinking, that's what you're feeling, that where your passion is, that what you visualize becomes your outer reputation. So you attach meaning to everything that is within inside that you want to show, because your identity is actually the reflection of what is inside. Yeah, and
yeah,
you want to show yourself in the best possible version. You want to show your company being in the best possible version. That the way of how you support, guide, lead, sell, whatever it is. But it's if you're wasting time on okay the color and da, first think about what should the color mean. Yeah, and there's also
oh,
background information
yes.
of what colors mean, yeah, and why you would go with this color and that color, why you would go with this name or another name. You also need to think a little bit, okay, where is my vision, where do I want to go? Should I use a name that sticks with me as a person or that it can be universal? Is this something that I want to bring across borders, internationalize, grow global?
Mm,
So you have to have the end in mind as well in order to be able to scale in that regard. So there's a lot
it's
of
both.
things that you need to take into consideration, you need to factor in. Yeah? But end in mind, yes, then you re-engineer backward and then you start, okay, where am I now and how do I get there? So you need to have both points. So it's like when you say, I want to go here and there, and you enter in Google, but you need to know where you are right here
Right.
at the moment in order to find the directions, to get the directions.
Do
Yeah, to
you do
basically,
you do you get a lot of resistance sometimes from your clients where they go, "No, but wait, I want to talk about I want pink. I want pink or lime green," which I love.
no, no, the resistance comes first because it's a, oh, I need a marketing funnel. Oh, I need to, I think about the branding afterwards. And then I was like, what are
Oh,
you
yeah.
marketing? What is it that you want to market, you want to promote? Yeah? And if you have nothing, if there is no meaning attached to, then what do you want to promote? First comes the branding. It's the identity. It's you want to make customers feel about who you are, what your products are. This is most important, not only speaking about it and hearing about it and thinking about it, but really feeling, because you connect with your brand, with your customers'
Yeah.
hearts first. It's really on an emotional level. So branding always has the duality. There's the rational part. Okay, what does it cost? What is it? Yeah, but there's the emotional part. It's that feeling. So when you feel first, you remember. Yeah, you have a certain you resonate with something. Yeah, and that's how you get your customers.
I love
Um,
that. Um, it's very interesting because so I have I'm not a brander and I don't I've been all over the place, so which is probably probably part of the problem. But I have always whenever I've started a new endeavor, like a new podcast, like this podcast, I thought about, what kind of feel do I want? What kind of brand? And I've done this. I've had a lot of podcasts. I have, a couple of books out there, but I was talking to a friend of mine I don't know, a month ago or so. And for some reason, I can't remember why, we looked at my website and she said, and so she was looking at my colors and my logo and my pictures. And she said, I just don't, she said, it's fine. She said, but it just doesn't feel like you. And I
mm,
realized that I had never sat down to really thought in the way that you're talking about me, not a podcast or a book or some part, but me or a coaching business that I tried for a while. But me as a person, how do I represent? How do I want to? What is the within from me as a whole versus these bits and pieces, which I did exactly what you just said. I had created these things and not really even thought about, well, but wait, what is the message of Beth Campbell that I want to get out there? So
Exactly, exactly. And that's where a lot of people then sooner or later give up because it's not working, because they concentrate on the marketing tactics. Marketing tactics, that's the vehicle, but the brand is the meaning that you want to bring across, yeah, what
Yeah.
others need to feel. What you said is you need to start at the beginning, and that's mindset. It's a vision, mission, your underlying values. And then there's another thing that we underestimate, but it's all over the place. It's ubiquitous anyway. It's our limiting beliefs. We are not good enough, da, 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 da. This also comes in with kind of this imposter syndrome that a lot of, especially women, are fraught with. So when you have clarified that, then you build your personal brand. It's all about you as a person. Because as a solopreneur, you are the face of your company. So it's all about you, actually,
Yeah.
right? Your podcast is about you, but
Yeah.
you want to communicate a message. And you better communicate a message when it's branded. And that's something that you own. You have the agency of how you create this identity. So your personal brand is then part of the company brand you build around it. And that's what you are. Yeah, that's your identity as a business owner. And a podcast, obviously, is then part of your company brand,
Right.
but it lives through you, through
Right.
your soul,
Right.
through your being, through your emotions.
Mm.
And that's what counts. And that's something that I try not try because when they understand it's not working this way, they think then they come to me and say, okay, now I understand. Yes, this is really good. Now, yes, I feel me. Yes, this is the authentic me. Yes, now it works. Now I know the
Yes.
colors. So this is something that you need to do first. Go within first, and then once you have something, a foundation established, then you get some outside perspectives of close friends, of people that you just got to know, of business referrals, of other companies, of clients that you have been working with.
Yeah.
Get some, diverse perspectives of how they see you. There might be some blind spots, something that you have not seen is a strength of yours that you can make a strength of
That's
yours.
a little
So
scary. I mean, that's gotta be a
yeah,
scary
that's
thing for
very scary. That's very scary. It needs courage. It needs
Yeah.
boldness to get out there and ask, what do you think? Are there three words that describe me?
Yeah.
What are the strengths that you see in me? The three, give me a list of short list of three. So there's different questions that you can ask, whatever you need to know, whatever you want to know. But I think that is important to first have an idea, go in introspection, regardless of what others say, and then listen to other voices. And then decide, is this something I want to integrate? Is this maybe a flaw I want to
Yeah.
work on? Or
Right.
is this flaw just a differentiator that makes me so unique? For
Yeah.
example, my mother tongue is German, and English for me, people say, oh, this is beautiful because your English accent is cute or whatever it is. So yeah, I will not work on it so it diminishes my
Yeah.
brand, it's because it's part of me. So I'm doubling down, and I'm aware of that, and I own it. That's
Good
what
for
I mean.
you.
I own
Good
it.
for you. Good for you.
Own what. Yeah?
Hey, I wanna
So
go back to something
everyone
that
else has a different.
yeah, I wanna go back to what you said about limiting beliefs because I think this is something that I have never really thought about, which is brilliant. I have never really thought about this in the context of branding. So for those people out there who might be listening and not really knowing what can you tell us a little what is a limiting belief and maybe give us an example of what a limiting belief might be that would affect branding?
Yeah, I have been researching on that for long now because it's something that was me holding back. I imposed on myself, and I was conditioned when I was a kid So the limiting beliefs usually come from your upbringing, from your
Mm.
childhood experiences. Your parents, they did a great job in their best knowing, of course. But there's certain things, for example, for me, it was we were struggling with money. I'm not coming from a rich background or household, so I was really earning everything and working hard for what I have become and what I have reached. It was not just given to me, and I had to fight for it. And so it's like, we don't have enough, we are not enough, don't speak up, it's not important anyway what you have to say. So it's like, when you hear that, you don't allow yourself, and I had this inner conflict, like, I'm not allowed, but at the same time I want.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to be in the spotlight, but once I was there, I was imposing kind of a limitation. I was putting myself back into the box because, hey, you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
So that is a conditioning you have to first understand. So you have to
Yes. And be
excavate
aware.
and
Yeah.
see where certain behavior coming from. And that means unlearning, being aware, accepting, yes, that is the problem, and then, or the challenge, or this is something I need to let go. I
Yeah.
need to allow myself to release. There's certain resistance to certain things, a
Oh, yes.
resistance to be rich because money is bad. Maybe someone told you that, or,
Sure.
you know, and there is certain phrases like money doesn't grow on trees and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but we need to really understand that and then work on that, and turning this, to bring it to a point now, this limiting into empowering beliefs,
Yeah.
because you can train yourself to think differently. You can choose every time, every minute, every second to think differently. And you kind of train yourself to think these positive thoughts. Yes,
Yeah.
I am worth it. I am worth it. And this is also part of branding, because when you do that, when you are looking inside and understanding all of that, yeah, and if you're not knowing your worth, your story, where you're coming from, yeah, this pain that you can turn into a purpose, and when you are not aware of your values, how can you expect others to see you clearly?
Yeah. If
How
you
can
can't see
others
yourself.
see your truth?
Yeah.
Exactly, because if you don't know it, how can you live it? So it's really about understanding who you are at your core essence, who you truly are. And then you resonate, you relate, you attract the right audience, whether
Sure.
it's relationship, it's customers, then, because then you connect with the people that are meant to be in your circle, that are meant to be your
Yeah.
clients. And then, yeah, you can live your purpose, and
Yeah.
also be in your best version and serve those people in the best possible manner.
Yeah, I love this. I love the idea of exploring inner beliefs. Those conditionings, and I've talked to some of my other guests about them. And money is one big thing that comes up, right? Or when you're a child, you just hear how money is referred to in your house, and you grow up with these. And somebody might come in with a limiting belief that, well, I can't. I shouldn't. I can't spend money on this. I can't spend. It's on myself. I can't spend money. Or I think for women, probably a lot of women think well, or especially professional women, because I know I went through this myself, where I was doing some career coaching and some more traditional professional stuff. And I thought, well, I can't really be too sweary or too edgy, or I can't wear my hat, right? Because I have to. And that was a limiting belief. And I said, well, you know what? If being my true self doesn't fit this role, then maybe, or brand, maybe that's not my brand, because I wanted to be more
Exactly.
different. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love it. I
And
love it.
to round that up, you attract what you concentrate on. Because when you say, I don't have the money and I don't, da, 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 you attract even more so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to really be very, very, very intentional about what you're thinking, and then what you're believing, what you're feeling, because you're acting on that, and then you're attracting exactly that.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
This is an unwritten law,
Yeah.
I think, and it always proves me right.
Yeah.
It's just the life is like that. Yeah.
Do
So
you
it's really important to be positive and intentional with your
Yeah,
thoughts.
I love it. I love it. Do you find differences between, and I don't know if you work primarily with women or men or both, but do you find differences in those types of limiting beliefs or the things that people want to focus on that maybe you want to bring them to mindset? Are there differences between men and women as to what they're when they come to the table in branding?
Yeah, they're not really differences, but I feel like that a woman, I mean, it's also scientifically proven, there are statistics that women are more so suffering from imposter syndrome and feel they're not good enough and not worthy. But in a sense, the problems or the beliefs are pretty much the same, but women are more open to share, and especially sharing it in a safe space. I
Yeah.
never had that.
Mm,
And that's why I'm starting with these branding retreats now at a very sacred and
yeah.
location. It's actually a sanctuary where they can freely and openly share. I think it's so important to talk about that, because I think there is also this kind of shame, that you have that. It's also about being authentic, and with authenticity comes vulnerability, showing your
Yeah.
okay, where you are wounded, but not, and then also as a guide, yes, understanding, because I had the same wounds, but now they are scars, and from that scars I tell them, I have a solution. I went through that and how I did that. Yeah. So giving them a safe space of being vulnerable, sharing their challenges, their sorrow, I'm not good enough, or I'm in a divorce, or navigating different, life circumstances, pivoting. I'm in a rat race. Who am I? I'm lost. I got lost in fitting into something I am not, but I want to know who I am. What's my next chapter? What I want to be someone different, but who am I becoming? So these are all the questions. And back to your question, men and women, I think they both have it alike, but I think women are more here to share.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just our upbringing too, and I think women are also still many women, certainly of adult women, we're groomed with this sense of, well, we have to, let's be polite. We don't want to, you don't want to be too, you don't want to be bossy, or or you're perceived as bossy even though you're a leader. So there's so many of these paradigms that come into place that I think it's really amazing that you're looking at that stuff in branding, because it's so important. I want to jump to the comments real quick because Stella Scott's joining us, and she said she has waited on LinkedIn, but we didn't show up, not on MacBook, not on iPhone. I think there's something going on, Stella. If you're able to see us now, there was some technical difficulties. I think it was Restream, because Brigitte and I spent about almost 15 minutes trying to figure out why she couldn't hear me, and I rebooted in different microphones, and then she got off and on, and we finally got it to work. But I think there's some gremlins at play out there. Brigitte, I didn't want to. I would be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about your journey to your badass business ownership, entrepreneurship, because it's kind of interesting to me. You started off as a flight attendant kind of early in your career. Is that? I mean, I always have to ask people when they have interesting jobs. Did you ever experience anything crazy in your flight attendant world?
Oh,
That
oh my God.
whole
You know
list.
what? I mean, I flew for 5 years, and I flew like 24/7. I was like always on the go, especially when I was on long hauls. We had rotations of 14 days or even longer,
Oh,
or sitting
wow.
on an island for a week and waiting for the next plane to
Oh, that
come if
sounds
it comes.
tough life.
Yeah. and really very, very funny and very adventurous things, but also from a flight safety thing, scary situations and that's why I'm so calm. I'm calm when things are going crazy or something happens, because what should happen?
Yeah. When
Yeah,
you've been through
life
like
is not
severe turbulence or whatever, it just doesn't seem like it's
and that experiences, I've learned you need to get to know how you react in such situations, and
Mhm.
I know how I react. I get very calm, and then I become you get this reptile brain kind of thing. So what's the first thing, the next step, next emotions are totally out. I'm very clear in my train of thoughts, and I know exactly what's the next step, and I'm going according to that. So I'm like a machine,
superpower. That's
uh,
a superpower.
which I'm not usually, because I'm a very sensitive and emotional person. But then there's kind of ledge that you flip, and then I'm just totally straightforward and strategic and intentional. So yeah, and that was the best school for me, that prepared me for the rest of my life as a university professor,
Yeah.
to have classrooms that obey. Basically, I
Right.
never had really a problem with my students. Maybe sometimes the little things, but that's part of being a professor or a teacher or an educator. And then also, yeah, when you are in corporate,
Yeah.
as a leader, I mean, you have a
Sorry, I'm
different
getting
style of.
flashbacks. I'm having PTSD flashbacks from corporate life.
Yeah, and then and as an entrepreneur, and that's where where it really gets juicy,
So
because then it's.
yeah, Gary, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I
Ask
was
me.
going to ask you, so what was the point where you made the decision and why to go from traditional paid jobs, roles, academia, corporate, to being your own boss?
Yeah, it's because so I went from corporate into, because I was in corporate until the financial crisis in 2008,
Mm,
and afterwards I was still. But in 2008, there was a financial crisis. I lost my job due to that,
yeah,
because the company went bankrupt. We were in the real estate development sector. And so there was one thing I realized, something sparked in me, and it's I that I need to build a brand that's totally mine, and one that no one can take away. And that's my personal brand, my personal identity. So
yeah,
everyone has a unique identity that transcends any job or title or role. That is disconnected from completely identifying with a company, right? And expressing your identity only through that, through you. And then I was I shifted then to become a full teaching professor,
yeah,
yeah, from corporate into that, because of the financial crisis, and there was more teaching load that I took on, and traveling here and teaching all around the world. But I always was kind of, I needed to fit in. There are certain traditions, certain structures that is not me, not at all, and I felt like, and then there was no opportunity to grow. There was no career path for me. Once a teaching professor,
yeah.
always teaching
Always
professor. I was like, "Ooh, another 20 years, this is a no-go." I just, molding yourself in. So I was giving up my dreams. I stopped that. It wasn't me anymore. I felt highly capable. I had achieved a lot, but I felt invisible. I felt invisible. I was just, doing my job, but that's it.
Yeah,
And then
like so many
there was
women. I mean, so many
yeah.
people, but yeah,
And then I was stuck in this, you say comfort. I was stuck in this presumably safe environment, which is not, so I decided to jump, and I had no safety net. I had nothing. But it was the first time I felt really alive and free. I didn't know what's gonna come. It was I started my company already in 2017 because I knew I need to do it one day. It's just a question of
I
time.
did
But
the
then
same.
COVID hit,
Yeah.
and then I did it. So
Yeah.
I didn't know what's gonna come. You cannot do the workshops in-house in companies, on companies' premises. You
Yeah.
had to shift online. So I had to learn a new way of teaching, and I also did that at the university then as a sideline, doing the Zoom. And Zoom was just invented. I was like, how do we do this? How do we do that? What's classroom switching, and what is this and what is that? So I learned here as well, and I think now I'm the total like online freak, and I love to do my coachings
Awesome.
one-on-one online with my clients from around the world. So you always need to see everything, every hard learning, every setback. And believe me, I had lots of setbacks, lot of
Yeah.
rejections, lot of ignorance, lot of not people not believing in me because I'm a woman, because you are a flight attendant. Yeah.
Sure.
They put
Yeah.
you into people
Oh, yeah.
stereotyping. This is how it is. You always need to fight for being seen. And then I realized, and because I said fight for being seen, I did not see myself first. And
Ooh.
that is
Ooh.
covering and understanding and facing your limiting beliefs, going to the core. So I took the time to go in solitude for a couple of years to figure it all
Wow.
out.
So you figured all this
Yeah.
out. You had to go through this whole journey of figuring out your limiting beliefs, which makes sense because now you're helping people. So you've been through this. You had to do it first. Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of clients come to me and I see their brilliance. By brilliance, I mean their uniqueness, what they can bring to the table.
Yeah.
What is their blend of just doing things that someone else cannot. I see that what they don't see yet.
Yeah.
So, and I think having been a flight attendant and having been an educator, I can read people pretty much,
Yeah.
pretty well, pretty easy. I knew when a passenger boarded the plane, you read these people, you read your
You
mind,
know.
you read the designs from their eyes, right? That's what you do when you own a hotel, or
Mhm.
when you
You
are
know, this one's
in
gonna be a
the
problem. This one I like. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You just
so
it's a sense.
you just you're not judging them or
Yeah.
criticizing. You just feel
Feel
into
it.
and
Yeah.
see, I'm pretty sure this one likes a brandy at the end. This goes with a red wine.
Yeah.
This reads a Financial Times. You're just trying to, and let these emotions kind of, this is kind of an inner wisdom that you train.
Yeah.
And it is an experience over time, over many years that you have. And now I can use that with my clients.
I love
So
it.
it's about empathy, and then being compassionate, feeling into them and helping them by guiding to come to a solution. I'm not giving them the solution because they have it
Yeah.
already in them. They
Yeah.
don't see it.
That's
Yeah. So
magic when you can do that. That's magic. Yeah.
yeah, so visibility also has a lot of different meanings. It's not just being visible online, visible to people, but making what you have already, you have had all along already, visible to yourself first. That's why introspection is so important.
Yeah. So tell me, is now that you've lived in both worlds, what do you love most about being an entrepreneur? And is there anything that you would change or that you miss about your previous life?
I think you can attract anything in your life that you want. You just need to figure out what you want first, right?
Yeah.
So now, having been on this journey, I love to be flexible and to
Mhm.
coach one-on-one online
Mhm. Yeah.
with people from the US, from Switzerland, from France, from Canada, from Dubai, from here and there, and it's people that you connect with, and then now I also like to to be in a community. So that's why I love to, that's where we got to know each other on networking
Yeah,
events,
yeah,
you know, others and see how they do it. And, you know, this is like uh, lifting each other. It's creating a happy place to meet and then take it to the next level on a one-on-one. But I also realized I want to have the physical
important.
kind of, let's say, maybe it's a wrong word, but the physical intimacy with a group of people, a community, somewhere like a retreat. And that's why I'm doing the retreats. It's like you meet somewhere at a beautiful place that gives you that space, that container where you can evolve, where you
Yeah,
can become, and guiding people. It's just the most beautiful thing to see how others evolve and how others have their ahas, how others are crying because they're
right.
happy, you know.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
love
happy
that.
cry.
I think it's so
See
important. Yeah,
that-
I love, very much eloquently crystallized my thoughts about from 23 years that I spent in corporate in the tech sector. That I love the flexibility, the freedom. When I made the decision after I got laid off, when I made the decision that I was not going back, it was so liberating. And there were struggles. It was a roller coaster for trying to figure out what I wanted to do, but it was so, but I also miss the people. I am a people person. So I have to find those ways in my online world, sitting, with my best friend, the computer. I have to find ways of, and I am so grateful for networking events, meeting people like you and so many others. I mean, I think most of my guests at this point, I think I've met on networking. I love it. It's so amazing. But I love hugs, and I love to, you know, there is a social connection with for many of us that you can't get with exactly the same. So this is why I keep saying I need to do a
yeah,
European tour of my show so I can talk to people in person. But
I was just on a retreat for retreats where we got to know each other. It's where the location where I'm hosting my retreat, and we were like people coming together. And as you say, it's the hugging. It's the
mm,
hugging when you feel like you belong, you're accepted for who you are, and
mm,
there is such a healing element in it with the hugging and giving other people space to become, giving them the moment to be, because very often we apologize when we cry. I
oh,
had a little meltdown, because it was so beautifully overwhelming and I could resolve something for myself. I apologized and said, no, this was so beautiful. You had a moment where it was something is healing,
yeah,
and you allow yourself to be and to take that moment, and everyone is giving you the moment. So being thankful for having the moment that others are with you when something like this happens, it's
yeah.
beautiful.
It is
Yeah, so
amazing.
that's
I,
why I like this physical
oh, it's
getting together.
I think it's, I think we because I think it feels for a lot of us it feels weird to promote physical interaction in person because I am such an advocate and I'm such a staunch I've ranted about the importance of letting people work from home, especially in corporate environments where sometimes they don't have the option. But the truth is that for many of us, and I think everybody's different, but for me, I need my alone time, but I need my time with people. I have to have it. If I don't see my family, if I don't for too long, I need that to regenerate. So I think it's important to have both. I just want to
Exactly. Mhm. I
yeah, go
just want
ahead.
to
Go
say, yeah,
ahead.
it's
Yeah.
a long time, but also the time where you shine, where you can give, where you can
Yes.
give and be there for others, and vice versa, where others have your back. Because we are social creatures.
Yes.
We need the social system. We need this, yeah, socializing. We are not meant to be alone. But for recalibration and reclamation, there is also a time where we need for ourselves, where we need the time for introspection, when we need the time to go for a brain bubble bath, when you kind of
Yes.
calibrate alone, you have a walk outside, when you do your gratitude journaling, or when you just sit still in meditation, or just sit and look into something for
In the
no
moment.
reason.
Yeah, in the
We
moment.
need we need that, because also in that time, that happens with me, I have the best ideas, because you can totally, it's kind of shutting down or having this downtime where things can evolve, it's
Yeah.
like when you sleep, there is things that it's kind of a healing, it's a cleansing process.
Yeah, it's you're
We
opening up space in your brain, right? Yeah.
Exactly. That doesn't mean we are lazy, because it's like, oh, what could I do in this time now? And now I'm sitting
But
here
don't you
doing
think that's one of those limiting beliefs I think that we have is that, well, because I know
nothing.
so many people, especially women, who say, I'm one of them. My husband has told me before, he said, you can't relax because it's hard for me to just sit. He will go outside in the backyard, he will have his cigar and a little glass of whiskey, and he'll put his podcast on and he'll sit out there for hours just decompressing. And I sit down for 5 minutes and I think, what do I have to do? I have other things. I should go and write some of my book or whatever. But we shouldn't feel guilty about that. It is so important to open that brain space to just quiet your mind, however you do it. I started doing, well, I've been doing, but I started doing them more often, jigsaw puzzles, because
Yeah,
it just lets me not think about anything else except for patterns and colors and shapes, and I just drown, everything goes away, and then, like you said, suddenly the ideas are there. So
exactly. It's like meditation. And then I'm a runner. So when I'm on my run, and just shortly before, depending on, like, is it 10 miles? Is it 8 miles? I get this idea. And
yeah.
and then I just need to give myself, some bridges to remember. It's
Yes.
like, okay, there's one, two, three, these three ideas. And then I get home and I write them down so that I don't forget. And then you have started the day already with something to work on. And
Yeah.
it's for me, it's like, it's very, yeah, it's exciting to
It's
see.
counterintuitive, I think, to some people to think, well, if I just stop doing things, then I will actually be more productive and have better ideas. But it's absolutely true. I just want to go to our comments real quick, and we're going to be wrapping up in just a few minutes. So if there's any additional comments, Stella has a few things to say. She can relate to your ice cold brain in a crisis. So Stella apparently gets that focus as well. Stella says, I love your journey and use of your life found wisdom in your current work. We are
That's
biological creatures, and that includes the physical. Nothing can beat that. Agree. And Stella says she cried on her presentation today. I never apologies when I get to tear up in public. Yes, exactly.
owning it, taking agency.
Yeah,
I love that. Yes, yes, and yes. People really can relate
100%.
to that. We need more people like that, because then the world, I think, is a better place.
I could not agree more. All right, so Bridget, tell us a little bit. I'm going to put all of your information, your links, your LinkedIn, your website. You've got a little gift as well. Let us know what's going on, what's coming up. But I'll put everything in the comments for everybody. But let us know right here what's coming up for you that you would like us to be aware of.
Yes, so thank you so much for asking. I am hosting a retreat September 10 to 14. It's 5 days, 4 nights. And it's going to be in Austria. And it's for women just like this, high achieving women in transition, who have realized, I have done everything I was supposed to do. So why don't I feel like me? And these women are often entering a new chapter. They are pivoting. They are in transition. Maybe they have left corporate, or, as I said, they are in this rat race. Maybe they are navigating through a challenging divorce or losing their job or whatever it is, and maybe they're finally asking, what do I really want and what's next? And women, it's very often also women who have stepped back to help others succeed, like husbands and kids. Kids are out the
Yeah.
house. So what's next? Now it's me. So, and for the first time in a long time, they choose themselves. And that's it. So it's a place where they are becoming, reconnecting with their inner brilliance, with their identity and values, reclaiming the visibility, seeing themselves, but also being seen, not as a performance, but as a truth.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and it's really not about becoming someone new. It's about becoming who you truly are.
Mm.
This is my retreat, and I'm going to promote it next week. Then the website is up and running, and then I will send you the link or will post. So keep an eye open
Yeah.
for my posts, and maybe connect with me. I'm very busy on LinkedIn. So that's where you find me. You are going to put that all my contact information in the chat anyway.
Yep.
And I also have for entrepreneurs a free gift. It's the entrepreneurial 3-step branding blueprint. It's what I've mentioned before. It's how to become an entrepreneur. And when it comes to how do you brand, where do we start? Where is the beginning? And what are the steps? So it's a 3-step branding blueprint that I have put into a PDF form that helps you, that guides you through. It gives you some helpful advice.
Love it. I love it. And your retreat sounds amazing. It sounds,
Yeah,
oh, oh,
it is. It is. It's a
just,
beautiful place too. It's a sanctuary place, and where we really can get together, and because it's not a business retreat, it's really a becoming retreat. It's about
ooh,
reflection, alignment, personal brand building, respectively. You're building your identity and going to the core essence, and recalibrate, reclaim your voice, your power, and getting the clarity that you want. And maybe also within that community, making friends for life. This happens. So
hey,
yeah.
nothing wrong with that, right?
Nothing wrong with that. We need people
Oh,
that
yes,
we can relate to, right? To help us
100%.
grow, have accountability partners, and this sharing. We, as I said, we can go it alone partly, but we also need the support from others and also help
Mm,
others. So this reciprocity, it's lifting each other. It's bringing us to the next level, helping us to be in our better version.
love it. Brigitte, thank you so much for being my guest on the Thirsty Professional. Thank you so much for working through these technical difficulties that we had up front, and we just only lost a couple minutes. And thank you for your insight, but I especially thank you for your amazing insight into. I've written down like a bunch of things that I didn't even think about when it comes to branding. So anybody out there who is serious about your branding, this is the woman to go to. So, but thank you for sharing your journey with us and with such candor and honesty. So appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Beth.
It was my pleasure. All right. So next week, everybody, my special guest is going to be Duncan Higgins, another person I met on a networking call. You're going to love this guy. So Duncan is a freelance video editor, content creator. He got there through the world of video games and music. So he studied music, studied music and sound engineering at university. He also was kind of looking at how musicians make content to promote themselves. So then he got into digital marketing. So now he's kind of a combination of the creative and the technical. He's young. This is the youngest person I've had on the show. I think he's in his mid, maybe low 20s. And he's starting right out as a freelance entrepreneur, which I love because he doesn't have to suffer through some of the corporate stuff that some of us have gone through, although it's a great learning experience and it wasn't all bad. Anyways, Duncan's a super nice guy. He's really smart and he gives me hope about the future. I hope that he is going to be running the world in 30 years. He's really cool. So check it out next week, July 4th. If you are out there watching on LinkedIn, please connect if you are not already, both with myself and with my lovely guest here. If you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe. It is so, so helpful. And I put a bunch of shorts clips from my various episodes out there that are really fun. So go out and check those out. If you have any questions or feedback or comments that you didn't get to, put them in the comments, or you can DM myself or Brigitte, and then congratulate yourself for getting real about your career, your pure purpose, and your passion. So now, Brigitte, my lovely Miss Hattie Arbuckle hat, and I are going to now bid you a fond farewell and hope you have a great weekend and take it easy.
Fill your cup, let's have a chat about careers, life, and all of that.
Well, that was fun. All right, time to go make some bacon.